Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and I wanted to talk about a 2021 film, Dollface. My friend Alex and I will text each other anytime one of us goes to the dollar store. And he happens to text me the other day with some photos, and he says, I found VFW, which I thought was pretty good. I didn't love it, but I liked it, on Blu-ray for $1.25 because all the prices went up. Do you want it? And I said, yeah, get me it. And this, which I've heard a lot about on Facebook. Haven't seen it, heard it was terrible, but the cover looked kind of interesting. Bad but interesting. And sometimes when a B movie, not sometimes, all the time really, when a B movie is bad but has heart, I enjoy it. I like the weirdness, I like the strange thoughts that the directors and the actors and whoever else come up with and that they do in these lower budget films more than these Hollywood blockbusters. I tend to watch low budget crap. So I had to do a video on this because I watched it last night. I know a lot of people don't know of it. It's a 2021 movie, so it's recent. And it's by a gentleman named Stuart Paul, I believe. And he also did a couple other movies that are at the Dollar Tree. Some of them are getting pretty good reviews. Heaven and Hell is one of them. It's also known, I think, as Reverse Heaven. This one. This one is about this woman on the front. She's also on the back. Her name in the film is Marmalade. That's it. Just marmalade. Like orange marmalade. She inherits a luxury condo from her grandmother who dies. You don't know how she dies until later on in the film. And the grandmother wills her the condo as long as she takes all of these hundreds of dolls that are in the house, very creepy, weird-looking dolls, scattered throughout the condo, and takes care of them all and doesn't get rid of them. So, at the very beginning, she's signing these documents from the attorneys, signing everything over, and one of the attorneys is like, don't look the dolls in the eyes. And the other attorney doesn't hear him, and then he makes another comment, and he's like, don't do this. And the attorney's like, why would you say that? So there's something weird going on, like right off the bat with the dolls, but you don't fully know the explanation until the movie moves along. The main character, Marmalade, never opens her mouth to speak throughout the whole film. But she speaks, so you'll hear this very, very thick, almost hard to understand. I put on subtitles anyway, but I always do. French accent. And she's speaking throughout the film, and people understand her and they're talking back, but her mouth never moves throughout the whole movie. It ties into the story as it goes along, but it's very jarring initially. She doesn't do a whole lot. She goes to therapy at one point. She meets different kinds of people, and everyone's sort of quirky and eccentric, which was the interesting part of the film. Everyone was strange. The best character in the movie is this guy up here who's controlling the puppets or whatever. His name is, I want to say it's called, his name is like Tim Dax, excuse me. Tim Dax is this small bald guy with tattoos on his throat, and he's got these black tattoos like on his face, boxing his face in, and they're real because he's in other films, and he's actually in other Stuart Paul films, so he must keep casting these people he knows or enjoys, and Tim Dax is one of them. He was an interesting character, eccentric, weird. He's fixing dolls. He's got like this slapdash arrangement of clothes on him with like marker written all over them, and he looks like a homeless person almost. So he was sort of interesting. But that's the kind of crux of the film. She doesn't know what's going on with the dolls. The dolls start to do things. You don't see them attacking people or coming after people, but like they start hanging themselves, and then she has to bring one of the dolls to the doll maker because it's broken. And she's trying to figure out what's going on. And while you're watching, you're trying to figure out what's going on. And then by the end of the film, there's a twist. But I don't necessarily know if it's what I think it is, or if it's one of two things. I'm not sure which way to go with it, but I think I know the ending. So, interesting idea, interesting concept, interesting characters in some regard. Bad movie. Just everything is very bright and very crystal clear, which I think sort of takes away from that grungy horror feeling that you hope to go into with horror movies. I mean, I get it. Not everything is supposed to look like crap, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and look disgusting. But she's with these dolls, and it's supposed to be like creepy and weird. But nothing is ever dark. Everything is brightly lit, and totally in like HD, beautiful glory. Like everything is very pretty in this film and very new looking. So I feel like that sort of detracted from it a bit. I don't think they should have added like fake scratch marks or anything, but there should have been scenes that were a little darker, maybe some more scary things happening. So it wasn't like some bright scene of something happening. At one point, she goes to a therapist office, and there's a guy there dressed like a doll, and he says he can't speak unless he's wound up. So she winds him up, and he turns around with a knife and goes to stab her and goes after, I guess it's the therapist. But it's not scary because it's like brightly lit. The shot isn't like cut really quick or anything to where like you're like, whoa, that caught me off guard. It's just this like normal scene. So I think that it's an interesting concept, but the movie really wasn't good. Um, I'm very on the fence if I'm keeping this one. I usually get rid of Blu-rays I don't think I'll rewatch, or that I find so bad that they're not redeeming, or so bad they're good. This isn't so bad it's good. It's really teetering on that, but leaning more towards the bad. So if any of that sounded interesting to you, you can probably find it at the Dollar Tree. I would not recommend it, and I would not recommend it for more than the $1.25, because at least you do get a Blu-ray and an 80-something minute movie, 85-minute movie, whatever. You have a spare case if you decide you hate the film and you want to throw it out, but it had potential. I just feel like it was not done well. Yeah. It looks like a straight up scary kind of horror movie, but it's really not. It doesn't feel like that. It's like this brightly lit weird film. So let me know, guys, if you've seen 2021's Dollface. The woman in the movie's name is Alix Villaret. I guess I'm pronouncing that right. Like I said, she has a very thick French accent, and I found it funny that when you go into the film, you can enable subtitles at the beginning, but you can't enable them once the movie's on. And then there's stereo and then surround, and if you pick one, you can't switch to the other, which is odd because when you watch, current films, usually you can just go into the settings and change the audio or change the subtitles while you're watching to whatever you want. You can't do this. You have to, it's like they were encoded, hard encoded, and they put it on the disc, and you have to pick which one you want, and that's it. You're stuck with it. So I had to go back and enable the subtitles in the main menu. But at least it has subtitles, right? Unlike Code Red movies, Dark Force Entertainment, whatever. So that's my 2 cents on Dollface. Please weigh in if you've seen it, and if you do watch it, I warned you. I don't know if it's even good for a drinking night with friends to laugh at. I think it's too slow. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.